Hello, this is Michelle Fout with Lemonade Legend Publishing. We're talking about editing today. My favorite subject. I have a love-hate relationship with editing. The hate part is that it's intensive. It takes a lot of work. So don't ever think that it's just it's a simple read over. Most of the time you have to go over it a lot, like read it. I say a minimum of 3 times, proofreading at least twice. I do not recommend you edit your own work because you are going to keep saying the same thing you wrote in the same way over and over again. So you do want to hire an editor, or maybe you're lucky enough to have a best friend who is a professional editor, but make sure you have a professional editor because they're going to see things that you would never see. And there's a lot of programs out there that can really help the process. There's Grammarly, there's Hemingway, there's a couple of other ones. They're really great at pointing out punctuation, misspelling, complicated run-on sentences, but it doesn't give you quite enough. So if you have a complicated run-on sentence, what do you do with it? And most of the time, the programs that are available online are not going to go deep enough to help really improve your book, to improve the flow. And maybe sometimes it's much more engaging to have a section of your book moved up to the top or a different place. It's going to have more impact on the reader. That's developmental editing, and that's really changing the story around. If you want to keep it simple, make sure that you have a professional editor, that they go over it several times, that after the first edit, they kick it back to you, make sure you approve of the draft edit, go back again and have the editor look at it. They're going to make even more changes. It'll go back to you. Make sure you read it very, very carefully to send back to them, and you probably will get a third version of the edit, and that's where you'll then approve it to go to the proofreaders. And speaking from experience, don't just take what you get from the professional proofreaders that you might have paid for. I would give it to your spouse, your friend, your daughter, whoever you feel comfortable with, and have them proof it too. Because I have seen books be proofed a half a dozen times and there are still mistakes made. It depends on how picky you are, on how perfect the book is. And don't worry, it really doesn't need to be perfect. People do understand mistakes, but you want to make sure that there are occasional mistakes, that they're not consistent in there, that you're spelling right, all of those things. And like I say, there's a lot of great programs, but that's only just the beginning. I use those just to kind of take some of the obvious away before I start manually editing and reading it as though I was well, a first-time reader, because I am. As an editor, I'm reading somebody else's story for the first time. So those are my tips on reading. Oh, I forgot to mention a few things. Cut out the word so, just, that, There's good places to use of, but don't use it all of the. All the is perfectly okay. So there's many, many words, and I have not nearly enough time on this video to be able to go through them. But I have a pretty big selection of words that I write down and say, just avoid them. Just don't go there. It'll be so much easier. You won't be having to edit them out. Just leave them out in the beginning. And here's my last tip that is one of my pet peeves, is repeating the same words within a paragraph. So that's where my friend, the thesaurus, comes in, because it takes so much away from your writing when you're repeating the same words over and over again. So don't get hung up on those words that you're comfortable with. Use that thesaurus and really look at it. Look at the meaning. Sound it out to yourself. Does it sound like something that I would write? Would I use that word? And probably you will. And the more you use that tool, the broader your vocabulary will get. So that's all I have time for now. If you have any questions, please let me know. I'm always happy to help with the editing side of things. I forgot to tell you what I love about it, though. I told you what I hate about it. Is it just hard on the eyes, makes me sleepy. My love relationship is I love reading new stories, and editing is all about reading a new story. So thank you so much. I appreciate you taking time to listen. Bye-bye.